Welcome to another edition of the NCAA March Madness Skype session. Pleased to be joined by Purdue's Dakota Mathias. The Boilermakers have been and are one of the top 5 teams in the country with a legitimate chance, if Villanova stumbles, to be the number 1 team in the country. Dakota, let's go back to the Bahamas, where you guys are expecting to certainly win that title, at least compete against Villanova. It never happened. I want to go back to the morning of the game against Arizona. You're 0-2. You've lost to Tennessee, Western Kentucky. You're facing maybe going 0-3 against Arizona. What happened in that meeting, in that preparation for that Arizona game that maybe has been a precursor to what we're seeing now over the last 5 weeks?
Yeah. The days leading up to that, those first 2 losses were just terrible. Everybody, you're in a nice place like the Bahamas, but nobody was obviously enjoying it. So to have the opportunity to play a good team like Arizona, we were excited. But we knew we had to make some changes. So after watching film of the first 2 games, it was evident, we weren't taking, the right shots. We were rushing it on offense, and defensively, we just had no energy, no enthusiasm, and we knew we had to make some changes. And luckily, Arizona game, we stepped it up, and I think we've taken off ever since then.
How much was there, a little bit of complacency on your end, not you personally, but the team, because you guys had played so well, obviously in the summer in Taiwan, a lot of hype leading in, you got experienced guys, and then bam, you get knocked back 2 losses when you're expected to be playing for a championship down in the Bahamas?
No doubt. I think there was definitely a level of complacency. Like you said, with the success the year before, winning the Big Ten, having 4 seniors back. And, I think it was our fault as seniors. We let the whole team kind of get complacent, we kind of got a big head, I would say. Like I said, defensively it was the main thing for us. We weren't doing our jobs. We weren't communicating very well. And it was just very evident on film, so we knew we had to make those changes.
All right, so now let's skip ahead to the road games a week ago, where you hadn't really played those kind of road games in conference, true road games. You got to go to Michigan. You got to go to Minnesota. Now, I know they've had their issues, but still, what did that week tell you, especially in the way you guys won at Michigan?
Yeah, it was huge for us, being able to grind it out. I think that was the big thing, in the Bahamas as well. We didn't grind out those games against Tennessee or Western Kentucky. I think when we got back home from there, Louisville, Maryland, games like that, we grinded them out. So obviously, going back in the Big Ten on the road, anytime you can win a road game in conference is huge. So winning at places like Michigan and Minnesota the way we did, it was just great to see that we could really grind it out.
I want to go back to also the World University Games. I'm a huge proponent, and I've talked to Coach Painter about this, of how important that is. Northern Iowa, Kansas, now you guys have done it where you're representing the United States in a competition like that. What do you remember most about that trip on the court? I want to get to off in a second, but on the court that you think this team is really benefiting from right now?
Yeah, I just think it's just the chemistry playing with everybody in game scenarios. Obviously, there's a lot of adversity, different rules, playing different teams like that, different ball, just different things like that. But, we're a different team than we were last year. Losing Big E, who did obviously a lot for us. So to have that experience to play with each other, get our freshmen acclimated, just that in-game experience was huge for us, I think.
You guys ended up with the silver medal, losing to Lithuania. I mean, that's what's different. This was real competition, not that when normal foreign tours. I mean, how would you describe the kind of atmosphere and the competition that you guys had to play in that maybe future teams are going to want to really do the next time these competition comes around? I think it's in Naples, Italy in 2019.
Yeah, it was highly competitive. A lot of the guys who were playing, they were a bit older than us. A lot of them were grown men playing, for money over there. So to have the physicality of playing against grown men that know how to play the game, they're a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger than you. It just made us be better and realize the level we have to get to if we want to compete.
There's something to be said for a team that can get old and stay old, and this program at Purdue has done that. Villanova, I think there's a lot of similarities in college basketball right now between these 2 programs. What is it about Purdue's ability to find the right guys, develop them, and then you see what happens here when you've got an older group like this? How would you describe the process at Purdue?
Yeah, I think it's a little different. A lot of schools are looking for those big-time athletes, those 5-star guys that are probably going to be 1 or 2 and done. For us, obviously having 4 seniors here, a lot of us weren't highly recruited. We weren't ranked up high on the boards, as a lot of people are. And I think we're just high-character guys that love the game of basketball. Coach Painter always says that keep your nose clean, does the right things, and that says a lot about a team, especially building chemistry through the years and being able to handle adversity together. There's no substitute for that.
Your freshman year, you had a difficult time. You had mono, bout of vertigo. I know you sprained your ankles. I mean, when you look back at where you are now to what you had to go through as a freshman, what's your thought process of how you had to deal with that first year when you were on campus?
Yeah, no, it really made me grow up and handle adversity a lot sooner than I expected. But looking back at it, I think it was a good thing for me because I'm a lot mentally tougher, a lot mentally stronger as well. So in the end, I think it was a good thing, and I can use that to help younger guys, especially the freshmen that come in that are struggling, going through day-to-day stuff in college because it's a lot different. So I can really help them, and just really help them through my experiences.
So you were the first player to commit from this class. How much do you feel like, a little bit of the Pied Piper here, that you were the first? Everyone, maybe they didn't necessarily follow because of you specifically, but that, that you've seen that sort of that leadership to its fruition, and we'll see what happens, obviously, in the final month and a half of the season and into the tournament.
Yeah, definitely. Even after I committed, I was very aware of, Vince Edwards and PJ Thompson, just from playing them, through the AAU circuit, things like that. So I really liked them and knew we were recruiting them heavily. So I wanted them to come join us, and I knew what kind of guys they were. So I knew, even though Purdue was in a bad state when we first got here, I could see that we had good guys coming in and we could change this culture.
Look, I've been to Mackey Arena a bunch. Had not been for a while, and then I was at that Louisville game. I've covered, obviously, these games for Big Ten Network recently. I think, arguably, it is one of the three best arenas when it's packed and when you guys are good in the country behind or with Kansas and Duke. What is it like to be there on the floor when that noise is reverberating off the top of that dome? You guys are playing well, you're clicking, and it is loud.
Yeah. No, you can't describe it. I mean, that's why you come to college. You can hear it on TV when you're watching games, but when you're actually playing in it, you can't even think. You're trying to call out plays or communicate, and it's tough to hear somebody else. But when you hit a big three or get a big stop and everybody just erupts, it's a great feeling.
And how much do you take pride, you and the rest of this group, that you're not going to lose at Mackey Arena this season?
Exactly. It's such a home court advantage. Our paint crew, they're our biggest six man. I mean, to have that advantage is huge, and we never want to disappoint our home crowd.
And lastly, Matt Painter. He's not the flashy guy. He's not the guy that's going to get all this national pub all the time. What is it about playing for Matt Painter that you have found over the last 4 years that really has enabled him to be such a successful coach and ride a little bit of that roller coaster where he had some highs with this program, a little dip down, and now he's back up?
Yeah, no, he's a player's coach. You can always communicate with him. You can always bounce ideas off him. He's going to be open. So, when things are down, you can talk to him. When things are up, so he never gets too high or too low. He's a great competitor and a great guy. I wouldn't want to play for anybody else.
Dakota Mathias, thanks for joining us here on our NCAA March Madness Skype session. Thank you.
Thank you.